Hey guys, just a reminder, this is not official medical advice or such. Please seek an appointment with a licensed medical provider.
Welcome to another episode of Explain This. This is kind of our guest star series of the Explain This program on performance medicine, and I have here Margaux Cousturian, our PA in our North Knoxville clinic. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Hey, Andy. Thanks for having me.
We're going to explain some stuff today. We're going to explain the crap out of stuff. But I do want to explain one thing. Our lighting is amazing here. Look at our faces. I'm telling you, look at this natural light coming in from
Natural light from North Knox is great.
North Knoxville. We're looking out at the fountain and at Fountain City Park right now. It's gorgeous, green here on a fall day. But we're going to talk about something actually very specific today. We've actually had a couple of influx of patients experiencing this really particular condition. So we're going to talk about the differences between the two and kind of what symptom outlooks look like with this. So this is within the gut. This is within Margaux's specialty. Then again, all of our providers, we all do hormones. We all do thyroid. We all do medical assisted weight loss. We all do longevity. We do it all. But we kind of each have our little focus. And Margaux loves the gut and loves thyroid too.
I sure do.
Gotta love the two, and they're connected.
They are.
We're doing a gut talk in a couple of days too, and they're super connected. So we're going to talk about PSC and PBC, primary sclerosing cholangitis.
Yes.
Primary biliary cholangitis.
Yes.
So those are buzzwords. Like literally we are talking about like this being pants prep pearls, like us studying for boards. So give us a little bit of overview of what those two look like.
Yes. So they both can have similar symptoms. Some type of right upper quadrant or mid-abdominal symptoms like pain or pressure because there's inflammation around that area. You can also have itching, especially itching at night, and like systemic itching from head to toe, and night sweats.
Okay, so that's some of the symptom outsets to look like too. Even sometimes too, I've had some patients that haven't had symptoms but have tested positive for some of the PSC and PBC.
Yes.
So to break down those words, primary just means at the source. So I'm pointing to my right upper quadrant right now. So at the source. Sclerosing, that just means like fibrosis, hardening, stiffening. Biliary is the biliary tract. So we're talking about the connection between the gallbladder, the liver, and the gut and the pancreas. There's this biliary tree that's working in the GI tract. Cholangitis, inflammation, itis of the bile ducts.
Right.
Is that right?
That's
okay.
right.
Okay, I like breaking down words. So we're talking about inflammation, scarring within the bile ducts that then connects to the GI tract. And the difference between PSC and PBC.
PSC can be outside of that biliary tract system.
Okay.
And there are a percent of patients with ulcerative colitis that will also test positive for PSC.
Okay, so that makes sense. So whenever you're thinking about something that's very inflammatory, ulcerative colitis is an autoimmune condition within the gut, that's within the large intestines, that's super inflammatory within the mucosa. You can have a lot of GI symptoms, bloody diarrheas, a lot of abdominal pain.
Yes.
And once you this autoimmunity is also within your specialty too. Kind of once you get one, you can get a lot of them. Is that right?
Yeah. Sometimes it can be a snowball effect. So that's why we want to treat early and reverse early.
Okay. So when we're talking about PSC and PBC, so we're talking about inflammation, scarring within the bile ducts, within that biliary tract that then can spread. If it's sclerosing cholangitis, the PSC, it can spread outside of the tract. What are some really negative stuff? I've read too that some cancers can develop from this.
Yes, especially with PSC because it's so inflammatory, it can set off some cancers within the bile duct, pancreas, gallbladder area.
So to all of that, and all those are super, super important too. When you're thinking about with inflammation within the gut, you gotta ease up the stress on what's happening with the gut. That's such a small little window. I don't know if you did. So in your surgical rotation, did you ever do gallbladder removals?
Yeah, I think one or two.
So you can see within it, you see how clearly defined. It's all right there and it's small. And so you got major organs that are sitting all right there. People take their gallbladder out all the time.
Very frequently.
Super, super, super frequent. So you're thinking about a very small window there. So we kind of looked some stuff up before this to think what might be natural remedies. What might we do to help ease some of the inflammation from a natural standpoint on that really, really precious area in the right upper quadrant?
We can take some milk thistle.
Milk thistle is amazing. You know, I was on the podcast last night. I was on the live Q&A. I was telling my what my supplement regimen is. I take an anti-alcohol every day. Not because I do alcohol every day. Most days. If I could raise my eyebrows, I would. But thank you, Botox. Milk thistle is a part of an anti-alcohol, which means it's hepatoprotective. So there's a lot of natural plant compounds that have an antiviral, anti-inflammatory, anti-fibrotic, which is really, really great properties. So milk thistle is one.
Right. Curcumin.
Curcumin. I love it. Curcumin. A derivative too of turmeric. Turmeric's another one too. So those are all naturally derived compounds. And I think the last one too, quercetin.
Yes.
Quercetin. In performance medicine, Dr. Rogers has his own version of quercetin called quercetin max. The flavonoid compounds are very antioxidant. So oxidation puts stress on the cells. Antioxidant releases that stress on the cells. So we're trying to decrease inflammation, decrease fibrosis. So a recommendation may be that, hey, if that's a family history of yours, if you do anything that's stressful on the liver, which is stress, like mental stress, physical stress, alcohol.
Or Tylenol.
Which gets metabolized to the liver. That we didn't even talk about chemotherapeutic drugs or just any sort of drug interventions that get metabolized through the liver.
Right.
So that can put stress.
Right. A lot of people with chronic migraines pop Excedrin like candy. That has a lot of Tylenol in it. So making sure that you're protecting your sweet liver.
That is so interesting too. I was talking with Dad the other night about he is reaching way less for the Advil and ibuprofen because of our pain formula, which is an all natural anti-inflammatory. So much of it, they call it inflammaging. So how we decrease the inflammation in a very toxic world. So we have quercetin, we have milk thistle, we have curcumin, we have turmeric. Those are great things to start, all available through really, really great supplement stores. We have our own versions of a lot of those. So our pain formula actually has a lot of those. Life Extension has an anti-alcohol. We have quercetin in a lot of our supers, but also to a quercetin individually. When do we want to refer out? We're gut people, but we're also not gastrointestinal specialists. We're also not hepatologists, which is liver doctors. When would we want to refer?
So we monitor certain labs for this. If labs aren't improving, that would be a sign to refer. If you have severe symptoms, if you have severe itching, keeping you up at night, a lot of night sweats, that might be a time to refer because we might want to take a closer look. So doing an actual scope to get in there, take a look around, see what's going on, if there's inflammation, any fibrotic tissue or sclerosis going on.
And maybe even establishing with a specialist while doing some naturals and even to a GI map.
Yes.
See if it gets off. So give us a little break. I know we've done a ton of stuff on GI map, but just remind people what the GI map is.
It's our gut test. So you send your stool off in the mail and you get a lot of data back. You get multiple pages back on what does your normal microbiome look like? Do you have H. pylori? Do you have yeast? It looks at other bacterial infections, viruses, parasites, and then it also looks at intestinal health markers. Do you make enough digestive enzymes? Do you have elevation in inflammatory markers? Specifically, calprotectin can show us if you have, IBS or IBD, zonulin for leaky gut. So the whole gamut of intestinal health.
So I think that's something too, that if this is a question for you, if this is something that you're interested in getting checked out and looking at, definitely come see us at North Knoxville because we do a lot of gut health here. Robin also does a lot of gut health in West Knoxville, but really looking into some of those naturals to help ease some of that stress that goes on in the right upper quadrant.
Yes.
This is great.
If you've ever had elevated liver enzymes, it would be time to start those naturals.
That's a good thing. So elevated liver enzymes are going to be on a complete metabolic panel, CMP. That's ALT and AST, and we're also looking at bilirubin with that too. Bilirubin, very specific to the biliary tract, in addition to the bones, but that's secondary.
Yeah, and a little alk phos.
A little alk phos. Yeah. Oh, wait. Alk phos is with the bones, not bilirubin. Alk phos is with the bones.
Alk phos is with bones.
Alk phos. Y'all, we're going to have to take this test again. You can take it for me.
No, thank you.
You can take it for me. So you heard it here. We are explaining PSC, primary sclerosing cholangitis, PBC, primary biliary cholangitis, and some of the things that are associated with signs, symptoms, treatments, naturals. We got it. So thank you so much for joining us. Margaux, thank you for guest starring on the show. We will see you soon.
All right, thanks.
Don't go away.